Hello and welcome to episode number 70 of the USA Volleyball Show. We're back.
Brought to you.
Technically, I'm only one that's been gone.
That's right. Brought to you. We're here at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. So had a fun day with some great guests, great conversation that we're gonna talk about and get to.
Some good social media.
Some
clips.
great social media.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to all of that, just wanted to catch up. How are you doing? Catch up on sleep yet?
No, sort of. Who knows? But yeah, been all right, man. Just kind of diving right into coaching right off the back from getting back from Chicago. Yeah. I think that's the last time we really got a chance to be in the same environment together, which was great too. High school season's about to kick off. Had a lot of tryouts on the girls' side of things too. That's good too, and helping out on the boys' side just a little bit though.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's new this year, right?
Yeah, that is new. That
nice.
is new. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What you been up to, man? What's up with you?
Good.
I see you got another Mizuno hat, and you won't share Stephen's gatekeeping.
Share the sources.
You're gatekeeping. It's all good. I see how it is.
You can talk to Mizuno on that one.
Oh, okay.
No, I've been good. Trying to catch up on sleep, some rest when I can. Still a bunch of stuff going on at work too that we gotta do and keep up with. But I did this weekend get a little mountain getaway with some friends. Nice. So
where'd you go?
Dylan here in Colorado. Had a nice evening on the boat.
I think that's an
Lake
interesting
Dylan.
name for a mountain.
Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite places, actually, kind of a smaller little mountain town, but one of my favorite restaurants is there too. Colorado restaurants.
Okay.
Arapaho Cafe, if you're ever in the area. Great breakfast. They had these cranberry habanero wings one time. I don't know if it's a seasonal
cranberry
thing,
habanero.
It sounded so weird to me, but he was like, "You got to try it." I
right.
did.
I think you and Curtis both had some mountain experiences over these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Minus Curtis being in Fort Lauderdale, burning his feet off. Other than that,
That's right.
Some, vacation getaway and some good times there. I had to go up to the mountain. I'm just overdue for it now.
We're gonna get to it when the news with Hughes, but excited about the men's national team getting silver, back-to-back silvers at VNL too. That was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it in the mountains on my phone. All my friends were behind me watching, but yeah, it was good. I love seeing it. And then David Smith and Micah Christensen getting back on the dream team too. Mm-hmm. So a lot of fun there.
It's been a lot of fun volleyball for sure. A lot of fun volleyball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. I'm excited. The Olympic movement, Paralympic movement is happening. We're at the training center. Mm-hmm. Excited to keep going here. But before we get into the episode, let's, if you haven't listened to our previous episode, we talked to Olympic bronze medalist, former U.S. Women's National Team athlete and professional beach player, Leanne Sato. Leanne we chat with her about her background in volleyball, growing up in and around the game, competing for USA Volleyball at the Olympics, playing professionally on the beach, and much, much more. Also talked about rollerblading with her as well. Great episode, great conversation. Check that out. You can listen to it on all podcast platforms or watch on USA Volleyball's YouTube channel. But let's get into it with news with Hughes.
All right. First off, a big congrats to our social media manager, Stephen Munson, on his viral post at Girls U19 National 16 through 17. We had that I forget what club she was a part of, but it was tutu day.
Madtown Volleyball.
Over the net in a tutu with during warm-ups, and it went viral. Big congratulations to that. Right place, right time.
Right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to get that. It was I knew it was doing well, but probably like a week after, I was talking to my boss, Laura Fawcett, and she was asking about some of the stats, and I had realized it.
You're like, whoa.
I was like, 7.5 million. That's kind of a lot.
That's kids' work. That's child work.
Officially viral. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. I was looking for some. It was because it was Tutu Day, the theme day, and so I was looking for some good content around that. And I was hoping to catch some players warming up because
there were a lot of dads in tutus.
That's right.
Well.
Yeah,
really,
I did
really
get some of that. Get some of the parents, coaches, but I'd seen a lot of the players warming up in them too, which I thought was awesome. But I was walking around, and I missed a lot of it, and I finally found one court, Madtown Volleyball, where they're in hitting lines, and Mad City. It was a good video. Yeah.
I just want to give you a quick shout out for that. Great work there. But also, congratulations to the men's national team for winning silver, as we kind of talked about a little bit earlier in our, catch up, for winning silver in the Volleyball Nations League finals in Poland over this past weekend, actually. Mm-hmm. Another congratulations to all of the teams who competed, as well as to all the teams who won their division at the 2023 USA Volleyball Beach National Championship in Fort Lauderdale. Shout out to Curtis Ward for all of the coverage there. I know it's hot. I know you use a lot of sunscreen, but great work there, Curtis. Great work there. Another big congratulations to all the teams who competed and came out to the 2023 USA Volleyball All-Star Championship in Fort Lauderdale. I know a lot of region teams went out and competed. Numbers looked great there as well. And congrats to those teams as well. Get your chance to see the U.S. men's national team compete on home soil one more time. The U.S. men's national team will be competing in the NORCECA September 5th through 10th at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center in Charleston, West Virginia. Get your tickets right now. And for all the latest news, visit usavolleyball.org.
Now, on to today's show. Like we talked about at the top, we are at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Center in Olympic City, USA, in Colorado Springs.
This room's pretty hot, by the way. Just let you guys know.
It's a warm room, but that's okay. It's fitting that we're here, too, because it is the 1 year out for the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. Mm-hmm. So very exciting to be here around that time, feeling the Olympic movement, but and then seeing kind of the future of USA Volleyball here with the Boys and Girls U19 National Team who are training here in preparation for the World Championship next week. We had 4 great guests. It's going to be an awesome episode with our guests. We have Girls U19 National Team head coach Jamie Morrison, Girls U19 National Team athlete Abby Vander Wal, Boys U19 National Team head coach Charlie Sullivan, and Boys U19 National Team athlete Sean Kelly. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get to the interviews right now. Jamie, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with us while you're here with the U19 National Team, gearing up for Worlds. So really appreciate taking the time. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you were introduced to volleyball.
Oh, man. You want to go way back. I think I don't know, maybe not typical story, but California kid growing up playing basketball. And around my sophomore year, I had a friend that was playing volleyball in the gym, and I peeked my head in. They asked if I wanted to come in, and it was love at first sight. I love the game. I love the way the pieces fit together. I always call it's like a dance, a choreographed dance with everyone doing some different moves, but it comes together into this really cool thing. So fell in love with the game. I was a 6'3" middle blocker. I went to UC Santa Barbara. I didn't really know anything about the recruiting process. They invited me to kind of come out, at least be a part of it, but halfway through that first season, 6'3" middle blocker didn't equal being on the team. So I got cut. But the women's team needed someone to come in and be a practice player. And again, I love the game. So I went in there. And the next year, I didn't realize how lucky I was, but I always thank Kathy Gregory and Liz Town Gilbert for, me being here. They offered me the volunteer assistant position, and I was 18 years old at the time. And I think we were top 10 at the time. And I didn't realize how lucky and blessed I was to kind of have that. Then I was going to move on and I was going to get in the business world, and I got a call from Mick Haley at USC, and they created a position down there for me to be a part of that. And again, planned on going to the business world when I was done, and then I got a call from someone saying that Hugh McCutcheon wanted to have breakfast with me.
That's got to be a crazy call.
At the time, this is full honesty. This is full honesty. At the time, I was like, who's Hugh McCutcheon? I didn't know you got hired. Which is funny to this day. But we sat down, had breakfast, and hit it off. And he offered me a job 2 weeks later. And I couldn't say no to a chance to go to an Olympics. So I kind of just decided the road less traveled path, and went down it, and then I was hooked. I got the opportunity. I was lucky and blessed to go to 3 Olympics and learn from some of the best people around. And I always tell people part of the reason why I'm here with the U19 group is just I was really lucky from a young age at 24 years old to be in a gym with some of the best coaches in the game, and I was a blank slate. And I got the best of each person that was around me, and I think made me into a pretty good volleyball coach. So I feel this need and desire to give back. The reason I'm here.
I love that. I really quick, just to maybe help you feel a little better. I had a similar experience with a guy named Doug Beal, who I first started at USA Volleyball, and I think it was the men who were in World Cup or something. They were playing international competition, and I was watching in my cubicle.
Yep.
And I hadn't met Doug yet. I hadn't met the CEO of USA Volleyball yet, and he sat down in my cube and was just talking casually. And then after he left, probably there 10, 15 minutes after he left, my cube neighbors looked over and like, Doug just like sat down and talked to you? I was like, who's Doug? But yeah, so hope that maybe that helps you feel a little better. But
I felt okay.
That's cool. That's a cool call to get, though.
Yeah, it was.
At what point in your career did you kind of realize you had that knack or that love for coaching specifically? You realize like this is legit. I can take this far.
That's a great question. I talk to young coaches about this all the time, just that maybe didn't have the playing experience. Like I remember I was at UC Santa Barbara. I was a volunteer when I made the decision to go into the business world. It was like no one's gonna want me. I didn't have a playing career. I got cut. Like I wasn't good enough. But I realized, I don't know, the fact that I did struggle a little bit in terms of getting better, like actually made me better as a coach, just because I understand that like you're not going to get it right away.
Yeah.
When did I figure it out? I would honestly say the true like version of this is like when I stepped away and I was in the business world with League One volleyball for a little bit, and I wasn't around it every single day. It was just how much I missed it and how much I felt like that's what I was put on this planet to do, was really when it locked in. I would also say I went overseas and I was a head coach in Austria, and I came back and it made me the best version of myself as an assistant because I knew the stresses that came along with being a head coach. So I remember specifically with Karch at times, he'd be trying to do too much on the small things that you don't need to do as a head coach, and I would actually take them away. But I think the coaching piece, the culture piece, year 3 in the Netherlands, or actually right after I left the Netherlands, I think I sat down and really cemented myself in who I wanted to be as a coach. And I think after that, I was the best version of myself. But I also, I tell myself all the time, like I look back at 5 years ago, Jamie, and I'm like, that guy's an idiot. And I look at, I don't know, I think like right now, 5 years from now, I'm probably gonna look back at me myself right now and say that. But I've done this program with the U19 group, or U18 before, for 3 years. And I think this is the best job I've done with it, and I'll probably say the same thing next year if I'm back again, just because you get better with time.
I love that. Yeah, continuing to get better and improving yourself.
Yeah.
You mentioned coaching the national teams. Touched a little bit about with the senior team with Karch. Obviously, no stranger to Team USA and USA Volleyball. You were part of 3 Olympic staffs.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about the highlights of being a part of those teams and those programs.
Yeah, I just talked to our team about this one. It's hard. I remember my first one, 2008.
Yeah.
I remember there were at least 6 times throughout that quad where I was sitting there being like, this is too hard and I don't want to do this anymore. And I actually just told our girls this, because it's going to be the same thing. If you want to be an Olympian, there's going to be times where you're like, this is too hard and I want to quit. And I think one of the coolest moments I vividly remember, and they don't really have staffs walk in opening ceremonies anymore. But right before you go out into the Olympic Stadium, the delegation, it's usually about 500 people. It starts really, really quietly, but there's just this, and I get chills as I'm saying it right now, but there's just this chant of USA that starts really, really quietly and gets into the loudest thing you've ever heard in your life.
Cool.
And I guarantee for everybody that's in that tunnel at that moment, it's like, it was worth it. Like the grind of it was worth it. So the first one, I think we didn't know what we didn't know also, so we were trying to do everything. And we got done. We won an Olympic medal. I usually forget that part of the story because it's like the journey that gets you there, but we won a gold. And I remember talking to Hugh afterwards, and we were like, yeah, of course we won. We worked harder than anybody else. And I truly believe that as a staff, we worked harder than everybody else to figure out what was important. And then I think the cool thing, Hugh and I had a conversation just about, we wanted a different puzzle, and took over the women's national team. And I think that was cool in its own light, of like trying to take what we learned from the men and apply it to the women. And I think we pushed the women's game a little bit because of it. And it was a really cool thing to be in there and be a part of that group. And I think the lesson learned during that one, and I tell this to everybody that I ever coach, is just like, you can be the best team, but you're not necessarily going to win. And we were the most dominant team in the world for 3 years. And then Brazil kind of had nothing to lose, closed their eyes and swung as hard as they could. And we won the first set, I think 25-14. And it's always, as a coach, you're like, oof, this isn't going to go well in the second. Yeah. And then again, they lit on fire. We lost 3-1 and won a silver. You say won, and it doesn't feel like that then, but yeah, it goes on from there. And then I left for extra year, and I missed it. Karch called and came back for that last cycle. And I think Karch is a lot about culture. And I think that was one of the best team cultures I've ever been a part of. And I think that lives on today with the national team that they have now. But we went in a 3-way race. I think we talked about it at the Olympics, and we finished with bronze. But also one of the proudest, matches I've had, just because we sat down and talked about what that match meant to us, and it was more about showing the world who we were than necessarily winning. And I thought the girls did that, and it's actually changed the way that I coach today. Just the way that they decided to play that match and how it took the pressure off the moment. USA Volleyball is, near and dear to my heart. It's given me everything that I have. And it's been some really cool experiences. So just wanted to make sure I said thank you, showed some gratitude towards it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
your experience.
Yeah.
Coaching, you mentioned the bronze medal in 2016. That's a hell of a moment to turn around, and after a loss that kicks you out of the gold medal match, you got to turn around and fight for a medal to get on that podium. How do you coach in that moment? What were you saying to the team?
Yeah, I think just for everybody, when you get into a spot where you have a goal, especially a 4-year goal, like it's the hardest thing about the Olympics. Everyone sees this, 2-week moment, but it's really a 4-year buildup with a lot of other competitions. And if anybody's listening to this, just VNL, World Championships, Olympic qualifier, all of these things are amazing opportunities to watch the highest level volleyball. So it's not just the Olympics, but you're in this moment where your whole goal is an Olympic gold medal. And it's taken away from you, and you have to prepare in 48 hours for basically going to do something else. So I think it's finding meaning in what the bronze or what that match means to you. For us, the meaning was it was the last opportunity for that group of 12 people to express who they were as a team and the culture on the floor. And again, it was a really cool moment where, again, it's changed the way that I coach in terms of talking to teams about, matches and competition. And I think it was sitting down and really, articulating what that is, what we wanted to show, who we wanted to be, what it meant to us, so that it did mean something, other than just, a bronze piece of hardware, but which is a really cool thing. I'm not diminishing a bronze medal. But again, it's the journey that gets you there. There's a quote somewhere in here when I was in the cafeteria that said it, and there's all these quotes up in the Olympic Training Center that give you chills a little bit because you've been through it and you realize, that's 100% right. But it was giving that match meaning. And again, it was a quick turnaround. We lost. We kind of, had an hour and a half to grieve, and then we had to sit down and really articulate. I remember vividly where it was. It was a restaurant we were eating at in Brazil. I remember where I was sitting. One of the more memorable moments and meetings in my 12-year Olympic history.
Wow, awesome! Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
So you talk about culture, motivation, and changing the way you coach. Can you talk a little bit about your overall coaching philosophy? How you apply that to, the adult national teams and the age groups that you coach here on the boys side of things. Does that change and alter anyway?
I think it changes depending on the group. Like I'm preparing this group for something that I'd be preparing the senior national team for. So I think if I were to go broad, I think that a lot of people talk about culture as, you talk about culture sometimes and they're like, hey, we're going to go do a movie night. We're going to put the people around each other. And I think that works when you have, teams that maybe aren't around each other as much. But when you get a national team or a college team, it's almost like you're in a relationship with a spouse. And there's just tools that have to go on with that of how to communicate, how to, have conflict in a good way. How to, not storytell in your head about things going on. So for me, there's a lot more of, real world application of team. I think culture-wise, going back to, again, that moment at the Olympics and the bronze medal match, I was listening to a podcast with Michael Gervais, who was our sports psychologist for that, ironically. But he was talking to a snowboarder. And again, I have this quote memorized. I have it written down in a lot of different places. But he always asked the question of how do you define mastery? And the snowboarder, she said, mastering the fundamentals of your craft so that you can express who you are through what you do. And for me, that hit really hard because I love snowboarding. So I just think of somebody, throwing a 360 and having a little bit of flair with their style of a hold on it. Like they have the fundamentals of a 360, but they're going to make it their own. So going back to that Olympic bronze medal match, like that became a lot about expressing who we are. And it took the pressure off of that moment. So I'm big on helping athletes understand who it is that they are, about staying true to that, staying in alignment with that, both on the court and off the court. And we just went through some activities here with this U19 group on that. But then also just articulating who we are as a team, like how a bunch of I's make up a we and how that shows up on the floor. And then my job is to hold people accountable to either who they say they're going to be or we say we're going to be. And then teach this game. I think is the other one. Just we want learners that are a part of the U19 national team. I know Karch wants learners that are a part of the senior national team. That means we need to teach. And I think this is a really cool environment. The reason why I love doing it is you got to cram like a year's worth of information into 6 days. And it's the craziest thing on the planet, but it sharpens your sword as a coach, makes me better. And I think the athletes have appreciated it too, that it's been a really cool learning environment. And props to this group. And I don't know if it's, I've had my staff around me for a little bit longer, so props to them also. But this group is learning at a rate I haven't seen a group learn at. And it's really, really cool.
That's awesome. Nate Go and I have 2 years in a row now. I've gone snowboarding. We're trying to make it a big USA volleyball staff.
Can I share a Nate Go story? You
Yeah. Please.
You want to know how Nate learned to snowboard?
Yes.
This is how Nate learned to snowboard.
Did you teach him?
I taught him. So basically, I was in Austria. I mentioned that, and we kind of didn't really have a scout. There was somebody that was part-time, so I was like, I wanted to bring somebody over because video was a big piece of what I did. So I was trying to find somebody that was kind of free that could do it, and I kind of knew Nate. I don't even remember how we had met, but we were fairly close. So I called Nate up, and I'm like, hey, like, would you be interested in coming over to Austria and doing this? He's like, yeah, when? And I'm like, 5 days from now. Said yes. Came over, spent the season with us. We took a car down to, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically a glacier that has snow year round. And again, I'm a big snowboarder. It has one basically vernacular that goes up to the top of this thing. So again, no bunny slope or anything. So basically it was like pushing your kid into the pool. I was like, have fun. We'll see you at the bottom.
This is his first time.
It was his first time, but I mean, it was powder. You know, like when you go snowboarding and you're like on ice, it really hurts. But when you're in powder, you can just fall. So like, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes later, he came down to the bottom. He was like, that was kind of fun. I'm like, all right, let's do it again. Went back up there. I was doing like 4 laps by the time he got to the bottom, but that's how Nate learned how to snowboard.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
There you go.
I'll have to bring that up next time.
Really
so we'll count you in for next year.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, if I have some free time,
that's awesome.
I'm in.
Cool. You kind of touched a little bit about, we were talking about, coaching this program, the age group program, U19 specifically this weekend. How's the squad looking? What gets you excited about this group of girls?
Yeah, I think their ability to learn right now is the thing I'm most excited about. We have a younger group, just with when the dates of this are and overlapping with college season. So it's been trying to accelerate that. And I think the majority of the time you have people that have been with you for 2 years in this cycle. So it's a really interesting group because you have some people that have been a part of a training group with me, some people that were a part of a training group for Pan Am Cup with Keegan earlier in the summer. And then you have some people that traveled also on this last group last year for our Pan Am Cup. So it's this, I don't know, hodgepodge of people that have had some USA experience, but trying to bring them together into one big unit is really cool. And I think seeing that happen every single day. Maggie Eppright's basically been our team czar, so setting up some stuff for us to have conversations every single day, and just it's cool to see a group of people form into that. And then again, just their ability to learn right now, and that's what this is about. It's not necessarily about going and winning a medal. It's about prepping them for 7 years down the road when they're stepping foot into the national team gym. So I'm excited about the progress.
You mentioned accountability, and also this group, you haven't seen a group like this learn at this rate. How do you step in and hold the teams accountable when they start to steer away or deter from that goal or that mindset or that level of accountability you're trying to hold them to?
No, this is going back to when you guys asked the question of like, when did it click for me? And I think this is a big one of setting the expectations of what you want from the beginning. So our first meeting was about an hour and a half in this room. We did some virtual learning before this of volleyball, but when we got here, it was a little bit more about culture and expectations. And some of it was volleyball in terms of that, but showing a lot of video of this is what it has to look like. Not it should look like. This is like in terms of like, hey, the non-negotiables, this is what it has to look like. And then holding people accountable to that every single day. Of not letting somebody get off the hook with it once and then letting somebody else of like, your athletes will respect you a lot if it's every single day. If you said you were going to hold them accountable, you hold them accountable. So I think it's expectation setting is the first one, and it's not, I don't know, making stuff up that you're going to be holding them accountable to every single day. It's from the very beginning of your season, very beginning of your training block. These are the things that are important to me, and you should expect to hear from me.
International volleyball is a whole nother beast, very different world from club ball in the US here, high school ball, which some of these athletes have international experience too, but some don't. What sort of challenges do you kind of foresee the team facing as they head to Worlds?
Yeah, I think you see some common ones in this. The first one is the serve and pass game. I think one, we play, especially at Worlds, with the Mikasa, and the thing's possessed by the devil and likes to move in some weird ways.
We're a Molten podcast, Molten.
So teaching people, one, how to deal with the movement, but also just the velocity that you see. You get the best in the world, and serving is usually the thing that gets up to international levels the fastest. So I don't know, offensive speed of your ability to run your offensive system usually kind of takes a while. You got to get to 22, 23. I don't know, arms kind of develop around now. You're going to get a couple that are really, really big, but when you get to the national team, everyone's going to be big. So you can kind of get away with kind of some defensive and blocking stuff. But I feel like serving from the time you're 16 is almost, when you get the best in the world at the level of the senior national team. So passing needs to keep up. So I don't know, ability to make some angles in some different ways, parts of our body that maybe they're not used to, is one of the biggest challenges. I think one of the things we have to teach is toolkits. Usually with the athletes that we have here, you're dealing with people that were the biggest, baddest athlete in the world in their little pond in the United States. And then all of a sudden you throw them into the, I don't know, big ocean of the world, and they're an equal sized fish to everybody else. Mm-hmm. So a block that used to blow up isn't blowing up when they hit it. It's actually going straight down to the ground. And usually with this group, there's a little bit of learning through heartache of that. Like they got to go through the pain of getting stuffed a lot before they start to realize they got to hit off some edges and hit inside of a block. But this group actually yesterday at practice, we worked on it a lot and they got a lot better. I was pretty fired up. So I think that's another one. And then I just think the mental strain of international volleyball. I think everyone's used to kind of getting into a match and having a 5-point run and it's over. And international volleyball is like side out, side out, side out, side out, 2-point run that might win the game, especially at the highest possible level. So getting people to be able to kind of, I don't know, loosen up for the 10 seconds in between plays and then dial back in and squeeze for the play, and doing that for 2 straight hours, that takes some time.
How do you try to create those scenarios, during this whole training block? Like you can only, prepare so much. You can only create so many, situations that prepared for that too. So how do you go about, trying to put them in the best situation as far as their training sessions and practices go?
It's an age-old question right there. I'd say the 2 ways. One, again, from the beginning of it, the little things that come into that. So ability to, dig a ball right in the middle of the court. And if you say that's important, and I say that's important from the very beginning of the year, and show videos of what it looks like and what it doesn't look like, of holding them accountable to that every single day and creating some tension around it, that, hey, if it doesn't happen, we're going to stop this drill and you're going to do it again. They just went through that 2 days ago. And then the other one is, I think, try as much as you can to make a competitive practice environment, of force them. And again, we got into it last night with some games to 15, and then you get into 14-14 and you make them pay attention to the score also, that 14-14 matters. We set a rule basically that if you don't realize that you won the set, like you got to go back 3 points, just so that scoreboard matters in that instance. So hopefully they're looking at, I know we say, hey, process, but you got to also be competitive and look up there and be like, man, it's 14-14. We have to score this point. Yeah. And try to create some situations like that in practice, that it matters. And it's really, really hard. I think it's the age-old question that every coach has, is how do we simulate matches and how do we simulate the pressure? There really isn't a full simulation of it. But how can you get close, I think, is the biggest thing.
Cool. How are we on time? One more question. We've just kind of focused on the challenges, but I'd love to hear about the strengths of this squad, what you're seeing as they train, and kind of what gets you excited about seeing the squad at Worlds. Yeah,
we were just talking last night. I think this is the most physical group we've had. And just, I think blocking can be this group's superpower. We're stuffing a lot of balls, and it hasn't really been the superpower. The last one was like we touched a lot of balls, which I value both of those evenly. Mm-hmm. But there's some pretty impressive blockers on this team, and I don't know, they're coming in, and this is just props also to the NTDP program, like having little blips of education along the way. Like we have better read blockers in this group. We have better slide hitters as middles in this group. Our outsides have a better toolkit of, again, I introduced tooling, and all of a sudden we're able to do it on the first try. So I do think the NTDP program has kind of gotten that in there. So for me, I think that'll be this group's superpower, is the ability to kind of be physical and shut down some teams. But again, we'll see. Every group kind of forms into its own little unique thing, but the physicality is the thing that stood out to me the most.
Cool. Oh yeah, you're entering.
Yeah.
You're entering your first full season here at Texas A&M. Small little tie for me. I was born in College Station.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
My dad did his master's program there.
The guy at the front desk is a former student.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
We were everywhere.
Yeah, Aggies are everywhere. But yeah, talk to us a little bit about, your excitement for the program as you enter the first year.
Yeah, again, I was sitting outside of volleyball and not realized, I think I knew it, but just cemented that this is what I was put on this planet to do, is coach volleyball. I was looking for the right opportunity, and Texas A&M was it from the long term, but also the short term. Just that the athletes that were there, I think we're going to surprise some people next year. So I don't know, really, really bummed that I'm missing 3 days right now while I'm here, but really, really excited for the season. And just we made a lot of progress during the spring. So similar to, here in terms of the learning that was going on, props to my athletes there for getting in and kind of being open-minded. I think the way that I coach is a little bit different. And about a week in, it starts to make sense. One of our athletes just said this, and about 3 weeks in, it's like, I trust everything that's going on right now because they see the improvement. So just, big thanks and big props for trusting the process on that. But just excited to, I think the biggest thing about sport that's really cool is it's not hey, I think we're good enough. You get to go prove it. So I'm excited for our first match in August to step out on that floor, have our girls wearing that uniform, and me representing that school, and get to see what the work that we put in produced, and really truly see if we're good enough or not. And if we're not, we'll go back to work. But I think we are.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else you'd like to share or talk about before we let you go here?
I think if people are listening to this, tune in and watch. I think, I don't know, if you're an athlete, tune in and watch the game played at the international level. If you're, 16, 17, see these athletes doing it and the differences that you see. If you're a fan, it's really cool to watch these athletes develop through this age group. And one of my biggest, hopes and dreams, and I get chills as I'm saying this, is like seeing one of these athletes competing on the senior national team in 5 or 6 years. I think it's really, really cool to be a part of that journey. And again, for me, this is my way of giving back, and it's an honor. I just told the girls yesterday, I'm super grateful to have this opportunity to be around some of the best volleyball athletes, but also they're amazing human beings, and get to lead them into battle in a week. So look forward to it.
Cool. Yeah, I know we're looking forward to it too.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good luck this week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. I know it's a kind of hectic week, kind of gearing up for Worlds as you are training here at the U19 National Team in Colorado Springs, but really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, like how you were introduced to volleyball.
Yeah, so I'm from Elmhurst, Illinois, like 25 minutes from downtown Chicago. I've played volleyball since I was 8. I've played for the same club team since I was 8. So like
cool.
I've played for First Alliance for my whole life.
Oh, love that club.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. And I've loved it since I was a kid and played volleyball ever since. I've loved it, every minute of it. So yeah.
Clarence and I were just in Chicago for a Girls
really?
Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice to have it at home.
What a time. What a time.
Yeah.
McCormick Center.
Yeah.
But so how did you get introduced to the game of volleyball? Like, where was that start for you?
Yeah. So my mom played volleyball in high school, and then my older cousins played volleyball too. It was really fun to watch them growing up for their school, and one of them played in college. So getting to see them play, I just always loved to go to their games and support them. And I knew my mom may want me to play someday, and one day I just went to a camp, loved it. Played ever since. Did she want you to, or did she force you?
She
wanted me to. She wanted me to. Did not force
Strongly
me.
Encouraged.
Strongly encouraged. Yeah. Yeah. But I've played ever since, and yeah, loved it from the minute I started playing.
That's cool. Yeah,
great.
A family affair. That's awesome. Yeah.
What was that hook? Like that favorite thing that kind of got you? Like, okay, yeah, this is fun, but this is why I love this game so much.
Yeah. So I've always been tall. So being able to hit from a young age over the net was always kind of fun. And I knew I've always wanted to be a hitter. I'm an outside now. So just getting into that, diving deeper into my shots and learning, hey, I can actually do this. It was super fun. And I think that's what got me hooked. Is that it's super fun and I could jump pretty high-ish, I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Getting a nice roof block too.
Oh yeah,
feels
the
good.
block is the best. I love getting block.
That's cool. Tell us a little bit about you've been a part of the NTDP program. Tell us a little about your experience with the program and the indoor training series specifically.
Yeah, so I've gone to maybe 6 or 7 of the indoor training series. Love every single one of them. I think one of my favorites was Tulsa last summer. Yeah, it was. I liked how it was a week long, and we got to know our roommates, and I think that was the first residential one I went to. So getting to stay with another teammate and getting to know other players and just like the level of play was so high the entire week. So I think that was probably my favorite. And I mean, all of them have been amazing. So yeah.
You still keep in touch with some of those teammates?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like a ton of them.
That's cool. Cause you're connected in that one event, and then you all go your separate ways across the country, but still stay connected. That's cool.
Super awesome.
Maybe run into each other across the net at club ball.
Yeah. A lot of qualifiers. I see them. We always say, hey.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what it was like when you got your first invite to the U19 National Team? What was that feeling like?
It was unreal. I was with my mom, just sitting doing homework on I think it was a Tuesday night, and I opened my email and I saw it, and I literally screamed. I was so excited. My mom thought something was wrong. She thought something was wrong, so she ran down the stairs. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is unreal. Like, such an amazing experience I've had here, and opportunity to go and just be a part of this. Like, I'm so blessed to be here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super fun.
You won gold with the Pan Am Cup team. Tell me a little bit about that experience. What was that like for you?
It was incredible. The girls, the 12 that went and the 20 that were in Anaheim, we had such a great connection. And going to Puerto Rico, like, it was just such an amazing experience, just getting to play against like Mexico and Costa Rica and all these places that I've never been to, but just like seeing them there and like getting to play them and get to know my teammates and get to know other teams as well. Just so cool. Such a cool experience.
What was your I guess first take on seeing international ball and competing against international ball for the first time?
Yeah, it was definitely different than what I'm used to, high school club. Mm-hmm. But we'd been practicing with the same like ball we've used there, and then they do play differently, so it definitely took a minute to like get used to how they play, and just such a fun experience, like being there and getting to play, because each team played differently, and adjusting to how the team played, and it was just so cool.
What was the most noticeable difference? And like you said, every team plays different. Mm-hmm. So, like, what was that like immediately like noticeable difference in style of play?
Like I'd say like they serve pretty tough. I think that's what I noticed right away. Like club serves, they're not too, like, they could be hard. High school serves a little different, but these definitely came a little faster, a little with more speed. So getting used to that and like adjusting to the new way they want us to pass and what that we've been working on all week. I think that's what I noticed the most. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Probably getting used to playing with each other too. Mm-hmm. Different chemistry with your teammates. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd never played with most of them before, so
that's cool.
Wow. A week later, we were in Puerto Rico, and it was awesome. Just an amazing story.
You mentioned, screaming when you got that invite for U19. What were the feelings when you first put on that USA jersey?
Wow, I got chills. Like, it was so cool. Just seeing like the flag in the corner and having your name on the back. It's just, I mean, I can't even describe it. It was so cool.
What were like,
I'll never forget it.
Yeah. Family members, what were they saying? High school friends, club teammates, what were they saying?
So I like FaceTime my mom, and she was like screaming, and my dad and my brother and all my high school teammates. They're just like, this is so cool. Like, this is just such an amazing.
I know her.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
Were they watching and like tagging on social media?
Yeah, they were. It was
that's gotta be a wild feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, totally crazy.
Can you talk about like the feeling? I know a lot of it's kind of, you kind of had to be there, and some of the feelings you can't really put into words. Mm-hmm. But can you talk about that feeling of when you kind of stepped onto the court for the first time? During the match, how does that feel?
Yeah, so like when we walked out to like the music that they want us to walk out, like I just got chills. Like even thinking about it now, just like I can't even describe it. Like just everything I dreamed of in just 1 minute of like, wow, I'm here. I did this. I'm here with like some of my best friends, and we get to like, we won gold. So that was just an amazing thing to do there too. So it was just indescribable, really. Mm-hmm. Just incredible.
Is this your first time at the U.S. Paralympic Training Center here in Colorado Springs?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here? I mean, there's Olympians, Paralympians walking around everywhere.
So cool, right? Yeah. I kind of want to ask everybody like what they're here for, because like everyone's here for something else. So it's super fun just seeing people walking around like, hey, like that person like might be like super famous in this sport, and I'm just like, wow, like this is so cool. And like this whole facility, all these facilities are amazing.
What's been your like favorite go-to food at the cafeteria here?
All the chicken, and we make some really good yogurt parfaits down there too.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Sleeper, the yogurt parfait.
Yeah.
What's the altitude like? Is it an adjustment for you?
It is, yeah. I did not expect to see mountains out the windows all day. I'm from Illinois, so it's just flat land. So this is this is definitely a change. But I mean, I think I noticed the altitude for the first like day or two. Now I don't even notice
Adjusted now.
Yeah.
What about playing volleyball in the altitude? I know the ball flight's a little different.
It does move differently. I noticed
that?
It goes further. Especially with serving. Definitely took a couple days to adjust, but I think we're getting pretty good at it.
Serving against the back wall for a couple days.
Definitely a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of looking forward to your volleyball career. Are you have any college thoughts where you're going? What do you want to study?
I'm committed to the University of Texas.
Okay.
So I'll be heading down there. I'm super excited. Hook 'em, yeah.
Cut.
Yeah. Cannot wait for that experience. I've dreamed of playing college volleyball at a high level since I was a kid. Getting that opportunity is just incredible. My dream. I get to live out my dream, so I cannot wait.
An amazing program for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you decide you wanted to go to Texas? The campus program. What was it?
Yeah, the program. It's just a great program. I went to the camp the week before. It has always been a top choice of mine. And then I just loved everything about it: the campus, the coaches, the culture on the team. It was just the perfect fit, and I knew right away that there's nowhere else I'd want to be. So, yeah.
And little recommendation for you: enjoy Lady Bird Lake. Do some stand-up paddleboarding, some kayaking there. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, I will. Nice. Sounds good. Yeah.
He's from Texas. If you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I went to college just south of Austin, so I spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Can you talk about some of your, just future volleyball goals? It could be, at the University of Texas or, on this team you're currently on right now. Just overall, I know they may differ a little bit, but just some of those future goals you have.
Yeah. So in college, I just hope to play to the best of my ability and maybe eventually get to work up to be an All-American, maybe something like that. It's always been a goal. I mean, if it works out, that'd be amazing. And then after, possibly playing in the national team gym, always working towards that. So we'll see. Yeah.
Speaking of the national team, is there a player on the national team right now on the senior team that you kind of look up to or maybe kind of try to mimic their game a little bit?
Yeah, I say Annie Drews pretty much. Yeah, she's really, really good. I've watched her for a long time now, and she went to Purdue, so it was pretty close to my house, I guess, and stayed away. So watching her, and I mean, she's so strong, and it's just so cool to watch her dominate. Yeah, that's exactly the word I would use.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you met her yet?
I have not. Oh, okay. No.
She's actually right.
That'd be so cool. I'd be like, what?
No, really nice person. So yeah, hopefully you get to meet her in the Anaheim gym sometime soon.
That'd be crazy.
Cool. Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. Anything else you'd like to talk about or share?
No, thank you for having me on. It was super fun.
Yeah. Thank you, and have a great week at training camp.
Yeah,
and then
thank you.
Good
nice
luck at
to
Worlds.
meet you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Sean, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. Excited to have you here while you're training with the U19 National Team. So thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. This is such a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, before we kind of get going and asking you how your week's been and what this overall experience has been, let's just talk about a little bit about where you're from and how did you get your start to volleyball?
So I'm from Manhattan Beach, a big volleyball city, of course, and my 3 older sisters all played. So basically, I got into volleyball by peppering in the house and just playing around with my brother, my older sisters, and then eventually I joined a club team, and it all took off there.
Mm-hmm. The little brother running around, older sisters practice, causing havoc. I love that. That's awesome.
What club team were you part of?
I'm a part of MB Surf, and I have been for 6 years or so. But I started at SEVC because I had baseball practice on Friday nights, which is when MB Surf practice.
Okay.
But yes, MB Surf.
So growing up in Manhattan, obviously, like you said, volleyball hotbed, beach volleyball specifically too. Were there any athletes that you kind of grew up watching or aspired to be or get to their level?
I grew up watching the U.S. team and my sisters, honestly.
Cool, yeah.
But yeah, the U.S. team, I'd always watch highlights on YouTube of Matt Anderson, Aaron Russell, all those guys, and they inspired me to be great.
Is there one specifically that you try to tune your game to at all or try to aspire to be? Yeah.
A bit Aaron Russell. I really like his game because he always seems pretty collected. on the court, and I try to model myself after that.
I can see a little Aaron Russell in you.
Cool,
Calm, cool, collective.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Love
we
that.
said it in the opposite orders. But being from Manhattan Beach, was it mainly indoor that you focused on, or was it a little bit of both, or mainly sand?
When I was younger, I mean, I always focused on indoor, but I played a lot of beach when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But then my focus, once I was like 15 or so, changed to strictly like indoor, and I'd play beach for fun here and there, but it sort of fades away once you like hone in on playing indoor volleyball.
Yeah, it sounds challenging too.
It is, yeah.
For sure, challenging.
Good views though when you're out there. Got the water there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really beat that.
Makes you miss Southern California. I grew up in Long Beach myself. Now out here in Mountain Town, Mountain Town, Colorado Springs. But yeah,
that's awesome. When you got that invite, U19 National Team, what were your feelings? Did you run around the house? What were you? How'd you react to that invite?
He was cool, calm, and collected.
That's right.
No, I was super excited, and I reached out to a couple of the other guys who I hoped would make the team, and they did, and we were all just super, super excited to have this opportunity.
Cool. Yeah. So far, like during the week, what's the experience been like at the training center here?
It's been great. We've been all hanging out. We've eaten a lot of food. Food here is really good. And the team is super collected and together. Like, I feel like it's one big group, which is nice. And I think we're playing great and have a good chance to do well at Worlds. What's
been your favorite or most memorable part of, this whole experience? Is this your first time at the training center?
This is my first time.
Nice. What's been like the most memorable part of that?
Honestly, not even the volleyball, but just like hanging out with everyone in the ice bath because it's so cold.
Ooh.
And just you get to know everyone a little better when you're outside of volleyball. And I really love this group. It's super fun playing with them, and I don't know why, but the ice bath brings everyone together.
Yeah. Get to know a little bit about each other in the ice bath. Yeah.
Suffer and recover a little bit. It applies.
Everyone's a little laid back. Yeah, chill. Literally chill. What's been you mentioned the food, eating a ton of food. What's been kind of the highlights on the meal sides of things?
Definitely the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of those.
The grill at the end.
Hungry.
Oh yeah, but all the food is great. Breakfast is great. A couple of breakfasts actually. Lunch, dinner, everything's great. The service is awesome too.
Yeah, they used to have soft serve ice cream. Do they still have that? I don't. Did they get rid of that?
Let's go see. Let's go.
Let's go take a little trip. And they every now and then they'd have like a hot fudge bar, and that was like my favorite part. But I think they took it away. That's awesome.
See, a little sad about that, but
I'm gonna go check after this though.
Go ahead. What's been the atmosphere like? I feel like you guys are really. It sounds like you're gelling, you're clicking, everything's going well. What's been the atmosphere like on the court? During your training sessions and practice blocks.
It's super competitive. I mean, 1 to 20, everyone's here to make the team, and everyone's playing really well. So I'd say every practice is like everyone's in there trying to win, competing for a spot, but not to a point where everyone's like mad with each other and upset. So it's good competitiveness, but also everyone's lifting each other up and playing really hard.
That's good.
What about the coaching staff? What kind of gets you excited to work with them? What are your thoughts on the coaching staff and working with them this week?
I love this coaching staff. I've played with them before. We went to Guatemala last year with this coaching staff and had a wonderful time because they really focus on making sure our culture as a team is super on it and together. And I just think that helps us all play much better because no one's angry with each other, angry at the coaches. Everyone is just playing well, is happy, and is playing hard.
You mentioned Guatemala, and you've played in the Pan Am Cup before. How was that experience playing in Guatemala, playing international volleyball too, at a high level?
It was a great experience. It was like once in a lifetime thing, almost like something new, a new culture. Like it's a little shock to you, but it was such a great time because everyone was together. We were literally all in the same room, and it was super fun. The coaching staff was great with us, and we really had a great time.
Any specific highlights from that trip that you look back on, or when you meet with the team again, those guys, what do you talk about?
I mean, this is like cliche, but winning.
Yeah.
Like everyone was so excited to win.
Definitely.
And just the ceremony, like announcing USA won the Pan Am Cup was just like unreal. It was so great.
kind of talking about that, twice now you've had the opportunity to, wear, the USA jersey. What does that mean to you? And then what's that feeling, being able to represent Team USA in that sense?
It's a proud feeling because there's only 20 of us, so not many people get to do it. And you feel like every single practice, you have to take it up another notch almost because you have to play well for your country. Like, we want to win this thing for everyone home, not just like for us. So I think it's pretty different than anything. Like, club is, of course, you want to win. But this, I don't know, it's a different scale, big scale.
Mm-hmm. What, you're playing international volleyball, you're wearing the USA jersey. What are your friends back home saying? What are your sisters saying, family saying?
My sisters they'll like give me some credit, whatnot, but all my friends, like, they all mess with us, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. But then they really respect it, and they're like, you guys go do that. That'll be great.
That's cool.
Like, great opportunity.
I imagine your sisters are like, all right, get in the backyard. We got to put you to work.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's probably their job to keep you humble here. And
Yeah.
As older sisters, which is pretty cool. But, you have any thoughts or expectations moving forward, on the college level at all?
Expectations on college level?
Yeah. Anywhere you're looking to go to school or?
I'm actually committed to Princeton.
Okay.
For college.
Cool.
I'm not
Nice.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited for that, and I'm really excited to play on college level. It's not USA, of course, but it's insanely high level.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to get better for sure.
What about Princeton? I mean, aside from volleyball, why are you excited about going to Princeton, attending Princeton?
Well, I'm just excited to learn. Like, I know it's a great school educationally, and I'm super excited to be there. I love the culture there as well, which is something that's pretty big for me. The team feels like one, and I'm super excited for that.
What's the campus like? I actually never been to Princeton. I don't. What's
It's
the
a
campus
pretty
like?
small campus, but it's really beautiful. It's
Cool.
super, super nice.
Awesome, nice. Sean, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. Anything else you'd like to share or talk about before we let you go?
There's not too much. I'm just super excited for this week, of course, and want to thank you guys for letting me be here. It's a super awesome opportunity.
Yeah, of
Thank you,
course.
guys.
Thank you, and good luck this week and at
Thank you.
Worlds too.
Thank you.
Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. We're excited to have you here as you kind of train here with the U19 National Team and gearing up for Worlds. So appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure. Good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, how you were introduced to volleyball.
Well, I coach currently at Springfield College. I've been the head coach there. I think it's my 25th year coming up. And I'm also a professor there, which is really exciting.
What do you teach?
I teach in the physical education department.
Okay.
So I teach sports psychology, and there's a core course for the master's program. We have a master's program in coaching. So
Cool.
I teach that course too.
Yeah.
And then a couple other courses around there, but those are my two main bread and butters.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but Springfield College is. Are you guys not the most winningest program in Division III volleyball history?
I thought you were going to say that our professor invented volleyball, which is true. William T. Morgan was a professor at Springfield College. And Springfield College was affiliated with the YMCA. And he was at the YMCA town next door, Holyoke, where the Volleyball Hall of Fame is now. And he invented volleyball as an alternative to less physical, strenuous sport than basketball. Whereas you're a business person, you don't have to get undressed and sweaty at lunch playing basketball. You can just have this net and this division. And it can be a little more calm for you. So, but yeah, we've won some matches at Springfield College, yeah.
Just a few. A lot of volleyball ties in that. I didn't know that he was a professor there.
Yeah, and we also have Naismith was on campus, invented volleyball, or invented basketball on campus.
Yeah.
They were classmates, and so he collaborated with Naismith and invented volleyball. Just a few years later, I think it was 91, 95, or 81, 85.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah. What's it like? What's the program like at Springfield? What are you excited about? Up for this upcoming season. Why do you like coaching there?
I just really believe in the philosophy of the school and the community of the school. So I feel really comfortable bringing a student athlete there to grow up as a person. As I experienced that as an undergrad student and graduate student. So, this year's my 32nd year on campus, and I don't think you stay at a place that long if you don't really believe in it, and enjoy it, and feel part of it. So we have a really good group of guys. We were very young last year. We got forced into some injuries and things like that, where we lost some roster spots with some older guys. So we just put a baby team out there but with really good attitudes and really good cohesion. And I thought we did a good job competing, and we're just excited to see that group take another step forward.
32 years, so there's probably an arena with your name on it coming soon.
We just hope for the bonus first, Steve.
Yeah.
It's the bonus people, but yeah, maybe.
Can you talk a little bit about your coaching philosophy and, you know, just how you got introduced to, you know, the coaching side of volleyball? It seems to have taken you, you know, strides and, you know, miles across your career. Where was that, you know, introduction for you?
Well, I really got forced into the game. I graduated from Springfield College. I was trying to play soccer overseas. I had no money, went to a school. I got a job as a kind of the AD phys ed teacher, and they needed a volleyball coach, the first sport they needed a coach for. And this other fellow and myself, there was a lot of pressure. It had been all female school previously. It was the first year was co-ed. And so they were kind of, trying to attract more male students. I went out to a sports program that was difficult, so we had to start the sports program. And then the first boys sport was volleyball. And so myself and this other guy were like, I've never even seen a volleyball match before. There's no way I'm gonna do this. This is too much pressure. And I went outside and lost the coin toss, and my career started. It's a true story.
That's awesome. So you have a soccer background as well?
Yeah, I have a soccer background.
Nice. Have you seen football?
No.
It's like soccer and volleyball meshed together. And you like play, you know, soccer rules.
Is it on the beach?
On the beach.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think I've seen it on grass too.
I just saw an Instagram reel where two guys went up and hit the ball at the same time. And that's the first time I'd seen it. Was last
bicycle
night.
Kick over the net.
Yeah, it's crazy. There is a sport like that in Asia with a wicker ball.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like that.
Okay.
I don't remember the name. I was at the Arafura Games coaching a USA team one time, and they were playing that in the games, in the competition. So,
well, Springfield might, you know, sounds like the best spot for the introduction of this college sport.
Yeah, never retired of coaching that. If it's on the beach, I'm game.
There you go. Yeah. Kind of going to why you're here now at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. Talk a little bit about this U19 group, the squad. How are they gelling this week so far?
Yeah, so I love my team at Springfield College, and this summer team I get to be a part of is just another treat. You surround yourself with good people of high character, quality, that want to work together, that have the tendency to give more than take. I think it's just always a good time. So I'm really enjoying this group. I think they have a lot of talent, a lot of ability, not just volleyball players, but as people and people together working to achieve something. And so it's been really fun to be with them. It's really fun to see them grow. And we've had our days here have been awesome. They've been really enjoyable.
There's a pretty good mix of, athletes who've competed in both Pan American Cups and, a good amount of newcomers as well that are kind of intermixed together. Yeah. What are some things that, you're trying to instill on the team to just keep the camaraderie, cohesive and mixed and competitive? Yeah.
We always try to just teach how they can work together. I mean, I heard a batting coach from the Atlanta Braves say the other day that batting is 90% mental, but he only really sees batters work on the mental side of the game 10% of the time. So if winning a volleyball game is 90% cohesion, like I don't know if you've ever seen a non-cohesive team win a championship, right? Or a team be kind of mellow about being aggressively cohesive, or about being cohesive. So that's so we kind of have some activities, have some cues around those skills as well. So the cues for serving are important, Clarence, but the cues for being a good teammate are also really important. Yeah. So
you mentioned we were just talking about you coaching in college too at Springfield. Now in the summer you're here coaching USA Volleyball. What excites you about coaching USA Volleyball and maybe this group specifically as they kind of gear up for Worlds?
Yeah, it's first of all an honor. I mean, I'm really grateful. Just have the opportunity to get the opportunity to call to take this position. So I take it really seriously, and I try to give my best effort and to be grateful for the effort, to the opportunity. So by giving my best effort, to be grateful for the opportunity. And then we're dealing with the top 1%. I mean, right. Our current statistical guys is a guy on my team at Springfield, and he was here, and the first 5 minutes he was like, "Wow!" I was like, "Yeah, this is the real deal." Mm-hmm. These kids are talented in many ways, and so it's just like I said, it's just a lot of fun. to have this opportunity. And I do learn a lot from her, a lot of cohesion and collaboration with our assistant coaches, the women's staff, just talking to those guys. And, it's good all over. There's really nothing negative about it.
Yeah.
Are there differences, coaching college versus coaching this squad? I mean, I know you mentioned the top 1%, so obviously different athleticism there.
Yeah. Well, the timeline is totally different. I mean,
yeah.
Here's your team. Here's 5 days.
True. Yeah.
Don't get hurt. Don't be sore. Don't get tired. Sleep well and get ready for the tournament. So.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, you're playing against teams that have played together for years. So yeah, cool.
Exactly.
Totally cool.
That's right. Yeah.
So those are definitely different challenges for sure.
You kind of touching on that whole, top 1% and, ways this team's gelling. What are some, challenges that this team's going to face? International volleyball is another level of competition.
Yeah.
Going into Worlds, what are some of those challenges that you're expecting to, face with this team?
Yeah. So being part of the men's volleyball college coaching community, that's another thing I really enjoy as well. So I've been able to, use the resources of the previous coaches that have done this, that have been in this role, guys that have qualified and coaches that have gone to Worlds. So, I've been able to kind of tap into those sources. Our national team staff went with the group in March, Matt and Nate from our USA men's national team. So, wow, those guys got a chance to hear from our best coaches in the country. And so I've been able to, utilize them as a resource for preparation. And then we just try to identify, without a lot of time, we try to identify like 3 or 4 things that are uber important that we need to do well and get good at those, and maybe touch on some other things, but really rely on those 3 pillars or 4 pillars to be awesome at.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking forward to seeing at Worlds with this squad? What kind of excites you?
I think overall their personalities are very competitive.
Yeah.
So, it's when it all hits the fan, when it comes down to a really big rally, or we're playing maybe Argentina at home, we're playing Chile as well. It's a 5-mile trip from Chile, so we're going to be in an away situation there. When a big rally is necessary and we need top performance for this after the serve happens, I think this team's competitive, but there's going to be some distractions that they've never seen before. So we're trying to prepare for those distractions as well, so we can try just be our best all the time. But especially when it gets really tight, it's going to be. I'm excited to see how they respond, because I do think they're competitive, and I think, like I said, they're great guys. So if we can prepare them well and give them the tools to get through that, so they can play to their potential, that's what it's all about, right? We're getting goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah. How do you prepare? What are some of those tools that you use to prepare them for those big moments?
Yeah, so we're doing some sports psychology training. We're working on getting a consistent mental approach from them in the gym, so they can go back on that training that I've had here. Because at that moment, you're going to fall back to what you do all the time or your training.
Right.
So we're trying to get the training to be really good, so they fall back on the training. So like I said, we've been able to hopefully identify some unique things that these guys haven't experienced before to combine with their skill, combine with their talent, combine with their current personality, and hopefully get to another level they've never been for.
Mm-hmm. What are some expectations that you have for yourself when you coach a team?
Yeah. So remember last year we played in the Pan Am Cup, and same scenario. We trained for a few days, went down there. We played. The Chilean coach asked him how many matches his team had played this year. He said like 30 something. All right, we're in against the right way. I knew our guys were. They never. This was the first year of the 2-year series they were together. So they'd never played together before. And so my goal the whole first game, Clarence, was to smile the whole game. So if anything went wrong, they looked over. There was no negative coming from me, because there was no way that they already weren't feeling a lot of pressure, and I didn't want to give them any pressure myself. So I was going to support. We won a really close deuce game. We were down probably 23-19 and won like a 28-26 or 26-24 with 2 great plays to end it. And then no one ever came over 20 points for us the rest of the tournament. And I believe that first game was crucial for us to be like, okay, we can do, here's some things we can do well, and here's some things we can build on. So that was a really amazing experience. So that's what I'm going to try to do, be supportive. I'm just here for them to have their best experience and for them to be their best volleyball players and people possible. So to give them those kind of those ideas or those tools is really exciting.
How much of that actually applies towards your overall coaching philosophy? And I know that can be different based off what teams you're coaching and what time of year. But If you can talk about a little bit of that, I think we appreciate that.
That's really similar, actually. The difference is when I coach a kid at Springfield, I tell them I'm not recruiting you for 4 years, I'm recruiting you for 40 years. Because I do think that our programs build life skills through this micro society called volleyball. And all the same challenges that they face on the volleyball team and the volleyball court are going to be similar they're going to face when they graduate. So to see a kid graduate, do really well, be successful, have a family, get married, have kids, that's awesome stuff. But I do think that it's a similar approach here. It's just not as well with our shorter time together. It's just maybe not as complete globally perspective-wise. It's more about just right now. So, but I think the approach is the same. I like to be a holistic coach and work on that as much as possible.
Shifting gears a little bit and talking about boys volleyball specifically in the U.S. and maybe drawing back from your recruiting experience in college or seeing the age group teams, national teams, are you seeing that development, that growth at a younger age for boys in volleyball?
Yeah, absolutely. It's that's why our Division III men's volleyball, the teams that are in Division III men's volleyball are much more competitive now. There's more teams. Yeah. There's just more kids going around. The pipeline, the bottom pipeline of high school volleyball has improved so much that there's just more good players. Like they're doing things that our national teams are doing. Like they're running the big, they're running some burns, they're running things that are really similar. So you're just seeing it happen at a younger age, and you're seeing more teams and players doing it across the country.
And like more high schools are sanctioning it. How can we continue to grow the boys side of the game? Whether you're a parent or a kid or USA Volleyball coach.
I think USA Volleyball does a good job. John Sproul, our men's coach, does a good job of that.
Yep.
That organization, I mean, they're just trying to give opportunities. If you get more exposure and opportunities, I think you get people excited. Like we were talking last night, that Nebraska game outside next year, we could do a little men's game before that. We'd be like the opening band.
Yeah.
That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I think if people like see it, experience it, more exposure. I know that's financially based, so they're growing the game from what they're doing is really important. So,
yeah.
What advice do you have for coaches, not necessarily on the boys side of things, but since we're on the topic, to really take into their own philosophies to help draw and retain boys throughout these club programs, throughout these higher level collegiate programs, as they get introduced to the game and just play overall throughout their whole lives.
So I was watching a movie one night, The Lone Survivor. Mark Wahlberg's a Navy SEAL.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen it though. Yeah.
I detox over the winter holiday by doing like a series of movies at night. From like everyone goes to bed, kids go to bed. From like 11 to 3, I watch movies on the couch. 2:30, Navy SEALs are just going up in the mountain. They're just doing a kind of check out things mission, and they run into a family, 3 generations: grandfathers, grandparents, parents, granddaughters, and they know if they don't take care of them, that they're going to run down the mountain, which on that side, 200 feet is 500 Afghan soldiers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're debate philosophically, ethically what they do. They decide to just tie them up, and of course the teenage boy gets loose and runs down, and now they're in a fight. They go down this hill. They just go down this cliff, come to a little area, and they climb up, and the helicopter is going to pick them right there. So they get down to the bottom of the cliff, and there's only 4 instead of 5. And the number one core value of the Marine Corps, the military, from what I know, is no man or woman left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't even have to make a decision at that point. They don't say, hey, should we go back? Should we go back and get them? What should we do? They all just go back up this cliff into the soldiers.
Yeah.
And I'm on my couch going, I don't think I can do that. I could never. I don't think I can do that. But it wasn't a thought for them because they digested the core values. So I think that if clubs are really showing strong core values to the participants and the families, and they're saying this is why we're doing this, and they act on those, and everyone can believe those or buying to those, then that's how you get like more maintenance, more consistency, more people sticking around.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Thank you for that. That was a good comparison.
Yeah.
Good breakdown. Yeah, that was fun.
Let me know if you have a good movie.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to share or talk about before we let you go here?
No, I was kind of open to whatever you guys want to talk about, but again, it's just an honor to be with these guys, this group, have this opportunity to watch these or wear these letters on our back, and we will do the best job as possible to represent our program, our country, our families, and everything we're doing here. So
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Good luck at Worlds, and good luck this week too.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys.
I feel like that was like a round robin of just great interviews, and all of them easily could have went over an hour.
Yeah.
Or close to an hour as well too. But due to time restraints, they got to get back to their duties here at the.
Felt like a mini media day. Mini media day, or just like the revolving door of great guests and coming in here. It was a lot of fun.
But I mean, it's always great to get to know these coaches and athletes as they come through these doors. And we kind of heard that a lot of them, it was their first time here in Colorado experiencing the training center to this caliber. It was really great treat to learn about the future of USA Volleyball and these athletes, where they're committed to play college and their goals and expectations for themselves moving forward. Just thank you all for taking the time to sit down with us and chat during your busy training week and busy time eating in the dining hall at the training center as well. A lot of good comments on the food there as well. But we are honored to have you all on the show. Thank you all. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Sean. And thank you, Charlie, as well. We really appreciate you guys for taking the time.
Yeah, and good luck next week at Worlds too. We're going to be watching closely. Very excited to watch those matches.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess let's just move on. Keep going with upcoming events. We have the 2023 FIVB U19 Girls World Championship in Croatia and Hungary, August 1st through the 11th. We have the 2023 FIVB U19 Boys World Championship in Argentina, August 2nd through the 11th. The 2023 Norseca Women's Pan American Cup in Puerto Rico, August 4th through the 14th. Next up on the beach side of things, we have the 2023 NTDP U19 U21 National Team Training Block in Chula Vista, California. That's July 28th through August 3rd. The 2023 Nebraska Beach Championships in Elkhorn, Nebraska, July 28th. The 2023 NTDP Beach Boys Training Series in Chula Vista, California, July 28th through August 2nd. And the 2023 USA Volleyball Beach Tour SSOVA Championships in Clearwater, Florida, August 6th. Good luck to everyone competing in those events. Shout out to all of our regions, of course, out there hosting, setting up those events. Those events would not happen without them. So thank you for that. And again, good luck to our U19 boys and girls national teams competing at Worlds next week. You can find all the information on that, updates on that at usavolleyball.org, or follow USA Volleyball on social media. And really quick, on to the pro side of things. We have the 2023 Beach Pro Tour Elite 16 in Montreal, Canada, July 26th through the 30th.
That was such a short list from what we've kind of been doing all season.
Yeah.
Well, when I say we, I mean you. I've been kind of just sitting
right.
here
watching
you pronounce all these tough names.
A light week for Volleypalooza. Yeah.
Volleypalooza. Also, I know indoor season just ended on the junior side of things, but also be on the lookout for some registration dates opening up for some qualifiers happening in the November and December timeframes. Mountain Classic being one of them, hosted right here in Denver, Colorado. Can't wait for that qualifier. But yeah, again, more information on registration, housing, opening dates, all that good stuff will be on usavolleyball.org. Remember, listeners can rate, review, and share this podcast with your friends, families, teammates, aunties, brothers, uncles, cousins, pets, PK, shout out to my cat. It really helps this podcast grow and reach new listeners every single week. And also check out our video episodes on our website and on YouTube. We thank you guys all for your continued support. And if you know a club or a person that should be featured on, or just a good story that you want us to share on this podcast, you can email us at theusav@usav.org. Leave us feedback, let us know how we're doing, talk about Steven's mustache, all that good stuff, and we will get back to you via email. Make sure you got to reach out though. Also, remember, new episodes drop every other week. And until then, thank you for listening to the USA.
This has been the USA Volleyball Show with Clarence Hughes and Stephen Munson, produced by Curtis Ward. Our content producer is Laura Fawcett. Our marketing lead is Bree Jaycox. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to rate and review. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the USA Volleyball Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.